Well, my love is sure lifted. Welcome back, episode 6, MG, the BOD. Right off the bat, I got to tell you, do you remember where you were the first time that ectoplasm reacted in the Statue of Liberty? Because it gets me emotional.
I remember the state I was in. It was complete shock and awe.
Because it was awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, for you 80s babies, if you don't know the Ghostbusters and that theme song, you're outside your dome. Just end it right now.
But my love is lifted. And you know who else lifts my love, Joe?
Who's that, Matt?
Our fans out there.
They're the best.
They lift my love.
The best.
With every share and like that they spread on social media, my love is lifted. So you know what? Let's get right to thanking them.
Go ahead, start it off.
Here we go. Derek Martin, thank you.
Mike Murphy.
Mike Whalen.
Vincent Miller.
Anthony Sparugia.
Brett Siegel.
Chris Baez, little Mexican.
Like that.
Love him.
Mike Apartnicki.
Mike Partnicki.
Classic.
Esquire.
Really?
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
Okay, well, we'll leave that out.
And Gina, it's either Gina or Gina, I'm not sure.
All right.
Gina Apisi.
We'll put a little rouge on it, tuck a sack back.
Could be Gina, though.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. And last but certainly not least, I mean, I got to tell you, this one is a surprise.
It is.
Okay, Mr. Chris Fieger.
Oh, my God.
It's about time.
It's about time.
All right, we appreciate it, Chris, but it's like...
Too little, too late.
Yeah,
buddy.
you're not really on our good side anymore.
Yeah.
We're
going to have the limo drive right by him.
Yeah, as we pop bottles.
Absolutely.
On our way to fame and glory. Because he will not be a part of it in my book.
No, he might be the driver, actually.
We should make him drive. Let's get into some questions. Maddie, I'm going to start you off with this first one. This comes from Mr. Zadarecki. Being that defensive coordinators can eventually figure out when opposing teams will, well, he uses the word fluctuate. I believe
we have Googled that word. We still don't know what it means.
Let's just go off of what he says because we don't want to hurt the fans' feelings.
Okay.
Is Chip Kelly overhauling his system? And part two is MG always drunk during filming?
Okay, I'll answer part two first. The answer is no. This is apple juice. I like to keep my myself in physical fit condition.
It shows.
Apple juice with maybe a little bit of vodka.
You're like the modern day Michael Phelps.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm not going to lie, and this is alcohol in here.
Okay, to answer his first question, though, will defensive coordinators eventually pick up on Chip Kelly's system, right? Was that the question?
Yes.
I say absolutely they're going to pick up on his system. Agreed. I think he's a good coach. I think he's innovative, and I think he is a good offensive mind, maybe a great offensive mind. But I think as the seasons go on, they're going to pick up on him, sort of like, not to that extent, but sort of like the Wildcat offense. Mm-hmm. You know, the Wildcat offense, when it first came out, everybody was like, oh, my God, how do we stop this? The Dolphins were running all over teams. And then, you know what, 2-3 years later, you don't even hear about the Wildcat offense anymore. I don't think Chip Kelly's system is a long-term winner in the NFL, but short-term, he could catch a little bit of lightning in a bottle. You never know.
I understand what you're saying there. It only takes one team to put down the blueprint, how to stop them. And today's developing NFL and the defenses, I don't think this is a long-term fad like you mentioned. So that's how we feel about that. Matty?
Okay, I got an email here from Matthew Carlin.
Hi, Matt.
What's up, Matty? He's a big Denver Bronco fan, and his question is directed towards Peyton Manning.
Right.
Although he cannot spell Peyton's name right, he puts Payton.
Well,
I don't know.
What are you going to do?
But his question is, what was the point in Peyton? It's a good question. What was the point in Peyton Manning restructuring his contract when they were going to lose Julius Thomas anyway?
Okay, I don't think Julius Thomas was the end-all, be-all. I think they saved about $4 million, and they put the tag on Demaryius. Now, with the cap supposedly going up another $10 million next year and $20 million over the course of the next 2 years, Demaryius is going to warrant that extra $4 million. Also, if he doesn't, they will need to address the offensive line. And don't put it past John Elway, who is the GM and president there, to make a bold move in this NFL draft. They are in win-now mode. They have some cap space. And it would not shock me one bit if they jumped into the first round with 2 picks, which means that their rookie class would cost them a little bit more. So I think that was a smart move to let Julius Thomas go. I think when you...
I would never have paid him that money.
Never. So, too much. Yeah. I think that when you have Peyton Manning as your quarterback, the tight end position isn't as highly valued as it is on some other teams as well. A lot of teams need an outlet. I think that you could just put me or you there, and we could succeed with Peyton.
I'd probably catch in a 16-game season, I'd say 4 touchdowns for Peyton Manning.
I was going to say 150 catches and 15 touchdowns for you.
Well, that's a bit above average.
Well, you're above average person.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. Next question. Old-time friend here, Steve Afasi. We played ball with Steve back in high school. Thank you for the question, by the way.
Big supporter of the show, Steve. We thank that.
Yes, this has numerous parts, which I will address, and then I want you to take it over and answer them all. First off, very insightful email, Steve. Love this. What do you think about Rex going to Buffalo? The decisions he's made so far, and of course McCoy going to Buffalo. His personal opinion, this is Steve's, of course, is he hates all of the above.
And he is a Buffalo fan.
Correct, he is. Also, we'll get first is the Bills questions, and now the second part of this is, not sure if you know this, okay? Steve is residing in Tampa, Florida.
I did not know that.
He married a Bucks cheerleader.
He married a Buccaneers cheerleader.
That's what the email says, and from what I've seen, he really is. This isn't fake. So I'm going to give him a lot of credit because he definitely, I mean, he got like an eagle, and he's like a double bogey player.
Stephen Fosse has the upper hand right now.
Huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Well, let me just answer his questions then.
All right, wait, well, before, he also wants to know about the Bucks organization and if they're completely lost or not. So, go ahead.
Okay, so the first question was about Rex Ryan coming to Buffalo. First of all, I didn't know you were a Buffalo fan until I read your email, so let me say welcome. It's always good to meet the one other fan out there that I know. And I don't really love Rex Ryan. It's hard. This is hard to say because I don't hate Rex Ryan. I don't think he's a great head coach, but I think he was set up to fail as a New York Jets head coach. And I think he's in a similar situation in Buffalo. So I'm not expecting, as a fan, I'm not expecting much out of Rex Ryan. I think maybe 8 wins, 9 wins for Buffalo. If I was him, I don't know why I went there. I would have went to Atlanta if I was personally him. But to answer your Rex Ryan question, I don't love him. I do not hate him, though. I think he is a decent coach. And the recent moves he made, including LaShawn McCoy, I think they were great. I think all the moves he made were great so far. Besides the Charles Clay signing, I love Charles Clay, but I don't know why we're giving this guy so much money.
$20 million
I don't know why. I don't know why he's getting.
Absurd.
I don't get it. He's the 4th highest paid tight end in the National Football League, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's very versatile.
Not $20 million guaranteed.
He's not 20. He's dude. He's not $20 million guaranteed.
By no means.
So that's your first part question. Your second part question. We'll shoot the second part to you, Joe.
About the Bucks.
About the Bucks.
I like what the Bucks are doing. I think they have a good young core. Obviously, they have the number 1 pick, which if I was them, I would trade away. You could get so much for them. Mike Glennon is not a bad quarterback. He is definitely capable of putting together a 500.
He's not a good quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback.
He's not a good quarterback.
I would take Mike Glennon over anybody the Bills have right now.
I think he's very comparable with Matt Castle.
Comparable, but that wasn't my answer. I said I would take him over anybody the Bills have.
I don't know. He looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
That's fine. I like the Charles Sims as a running back. I like Austin Seferian Jenkins. They have 2 big weapons on the outside.
I like Jenkins
with Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson. Defensively, you can't go wrong with Gerald McCoy. And they have a young secondary. They definitely need help there. But this is a team that needs to just keep on growing with Lovie Smith. Trade the pick, keep Glennon, and just get a boatload of picks to develop a young core. And maybe you could make the playoffs soon. Within the next 3 years.
I think they're a ways away from playoffs. I agree with you with trading the number 1 pick. But as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are concerned, I wouldn't expect anything for 5 years minimum.
5 years minimum.
5 years minimum.
They're a playoff team in 3 if they trade the pick.
I do love Lovie Smith, though. If you guys have anything right, you guys have your head coach right.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
All right, we got one more email here on my end. This one's from Matt Kafira. It's about the recent Chris Borland retiring, age 24.
Yes.
Due to head injury. Well, not his head injury, but due to the threat of head injuries in the long term. Mm-hmm. So Matt Kafiro asks, do you think more players will follow in Chris Borland's footsteps, retiring at an early age to prevent long-term brain injuries?
Okay, I don't think that Chris Borland set the precedent for this. I think that what he did was extremely admirable. This is a great move by this kid. If he didn't feel comfortable playing or was afraid of what his long-term lifestyle could be, this was the right decision for him. A lot of these choices are made off of how they're raised. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, I don't know Chris Borland's background, but if you're a middle-class or upper-class family and you make it to the NFL, maybe playing and risking your quote-unquote life long-term is worth it. Then you take an inner-city kid.
Well, that's an
excellent point, Joseph.
Who
needs the money, has to take care of his family. Who else knows what are the problems that they have? Maybe they are willing to risk the long-term head trauma for multi-millions of dollars. So I can't blame this kid for retiring because we don't know the full situation.
It is an absolutely excellent point
that
you just made.
But plus, I don't understand what the big deal about it is. So he quit at 20. I won't even say quit. He left the game at 24.
Well, it is a big deal because
Why?
There's people out there, like me and you, for example. We were PAL football players. We weren't anything great. But we would give our left arm to play in the NFL. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And there's players out there that would literally give their all to play in the NFL. And this guy is walking away at 24. Me personally, I don't agree with his decision. I think that you play football. Listen, you're getting hit for a living. There might be some consequences at the end. Okay, you can't tell me that he doesn't know what he's getting into when he's playing the NFL. Okay, you can't play the NFL and be like, oh my God, I have a head injury. Yeah, no kidding. You've been being hit for the past 16 years. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I do.
So you know what you're getting into. It's like drinking a hot cup of coffee and spilling it on you and suing McDonald's because you burnt yourself on a hot cup of coffee. You know it's hot.
Right. Listen, I understand your point. But this kid, for himself, made the right decision.
For himself.
Listen, Not to mention, I don't know if you read this, he did give back 3/4 of his original signing bonus. So he got the money he was entitled to and gave back what he didn't earn.
I didn't read
that. So he did the right thing. Not to mention, he also had 2 concussions that he knew of prior to this.
Listen, I wish him all. I wish him, Chris Bolin, I don't know you. I wish you all the best, but I wouldn't have left. As Joe said, though, maybe we don't know his backstory.
Circumstances.
Maybe his parents are like Johnny Manziel's parents.
Who knows?
Oil tycoons. Who knows?
Whatever it is. I give the kid all the credit in the world, and I hope he does great. I know he's going back to school, actually, for his degree.
Listen, Chris Bolin, good luck.
He'll end up in the coaching ranks somewhere.
Come on, MG in the BOD.
You're more than welcome. Let's get on to our mock. Let's finish this up, 2.0. We're going to do picks 17 through 32, and the first team at 17 that we're going to lead off with is the San Diego Chargers.
The Superchargers?
Superchargers. Start us off.
San Diego Superchargers. I have them addressing the defensive line with Malcolm Brown from Texas. Probably, in my opinion, the second, third best D-tackle in the draft.
Yeah. I actually have the same exact pick there.
Okay.
They need somebody with Winton Merciless and hopefully to protect Manti Te'o. Who knows what they're going to do with the Phillip Rivers situation and trade up, but defense right now is the pick for them. So I have defensive tackle Malcolm Brown from Texas as well. 18, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go with wide receiver Jalen Strong from Arizona State, a big body wide receiver. As you all know, you should know, their wide receivers on the Chiefs had 0 touchdowns last year. This kid will come in and hopefully at least get one.
Joe, I have the same exact pick. Okay. I have, in my opinion, everybody, the top 2 receivers in this draft are Amari Cooper and Kevin White. And then it's kind of muddled for 3 in everybody else's opinion.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Strong is the number 3 best receiver in this draft. I think Kansas City is in dire need of that position. Mm-hmm. As you said, they can't score a touchdown. So I haven't taken Jalen Strong also.
Beautiful.
Number 19, the Browns. Their second pick.
Second pick in the first round.
I have him addressing the offensive line, Andres Pete from Stanford.
Okay. You like him there?
No, I don't. I don't anymore. Like, we do 2.0. We did it last week, and we're just finishing this. And next episode, we're going to bring 3.0. I don't know what I would put there right now, gun to head, hypothetical. But right now I have Andres Pete. I do think they need to address the offensive line, though.
Well, I agree with that.
Yes.
In my mock right now, I have them taking their second wide receiver in the first round.
Well, that's just dumb.
Why is that dumb, Matt? They have no
wide receiver. I like to rib you.
Well, you'd be wrong in this. I have them taking wide receiver Devin Funchess from the University of Michigan. He's 6'5", 235, runs a 4.5 40, can stretch the field, and whoever their quarterback is, he is their seam outlet for next year. They need as much help offensively as they can, so that's why I put him there.
I like Funchess, Joe.
Of course you do.
For a team that drafts at 12 and then 7 picks later at 19, 2 wide receivers,
But
it is the Cleveland Browns, so who the hell knows?
But we've seen teams draft 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive guys, and I understand offensive linemen and defensive linemen are valued more. But they are okay there. I mean, I could obviously see them going offensive line, but they have nobody offensively to help whatever quarterback that they have there. So that's just my opinion. Let's move on to number 20, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Is this me or you, Joe?
I'll take it.
Okay.
my second favorite player in the draft.
I know you're going. You're going with
Alvin Bud Dupree, the University of Kentucky. This kid is the clone of Javon Curse, I think. Athletically, off the charts. Still a little raw in coverage. He has to learn how to do that, dropping back and loosening up his hips a little bit. But that's my pick there because you can mold him, and he's an athlete, which Chip Kelly loves.
I think I was just going to say, I think he's a Chip Kelly guy.
Yeah.
I have the same exact. We're pretty from 17 to 20 here, Joe. We're
so far
we're 3 for 4. I have Alvin, quote unquote Bud.
Okay.
I think he is a fantastic prospect, and I think Chip Kelly is going to do a lot of good with this kid.
Yeah, you can line him up all over.
I think he's just a hybrid player that Chip Kelly likes.
Absolutely.
For 21, Cincinnati Bengals. Now here's the other thing. I have Arik Armstead here.
Mm.
Chip Kelly and Dupree could be flip-flopped in this, right?
Because of the Oregon tie.
It sounds so dumb to say, Joe, but this guy, Chip Kelly, I'm talking about, loves Oregon players. Like, I understand he coached them. I get it. He just loves Oregon players.
I mean, you understand the pick if he took him there and he's available, but
I do have Armstead.
You don't know what he's going to do.
Going 21 to the Bengals.
Okay, that's fair. I have them taking offensive tackle La'el Collin from LSU.
Great player.
You need to protect Andy Dalton, and with Jeremy Hill and my guy Giovanni Bernard, the more muscular, larger men you have in front of you to protect your $100 million quarterback, the better. So you can never go wrong there. 22, Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to address the strong safety need with Troy Polamalu potentially not being there.
He entered the draft again?
I really don't. What's that?
I'm just joking.
Oh. I don't know what his future holds. I'm going with the best safety in the draft, Landon Collins from Alabama.
It's kind of low for him to fall.
It is. You could also say that he may not even make it into the first round. This is a need pick, and I don't know where they will be on their big board. But Landon Collins is an in-the-box safety who could cover the tight ends down the middle. So his versatility is what Mike Tomlin sees, and they address that need right there.
But he's the clear-cut best safety in the draft.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
So I think, my personal opinion, I think 22 is a little low for him. I have him going... Where do I have him going? I have him going 11 to the Vikings. So
yeah, it's high for me.
Yeah, I think he might go even higher, Joe. After the Giants lost Antrell Roll, I think he might go 9 and 3.0 and MG 3.0.
Possible.
Let me get back to topic here. The Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, you had Landon Collins. I have him addressing the offensive line. I am taking DJ Humphries from Florida.
Okay.
I think that their offensive line is atrocious.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think it's atrocious.
I actually don't think it's bad as what you say. I think it's actually pretty good.
I think people say it's good, but then all I see is, when I'm watching the games physically with my eye, all I see is Ben Roethlisberger getting balled back there.
But that's kind of his game, is to get outside the pocket.
I love Big Ben.
Okay, well, listen, that's your
I think
pick.
he needs help.
They all need help somehow. 23, NFC North, Detroit Lions. What do you have them taking here?
I have him addressing the loss of Nick Fairley, the loss of Ndamukong Suh, and I have him taking Eddie Goldman from Florida State.
Okay, that's fair enough. He is actually one of my favorite defensive tackles. I have them addressing the secondary. I think this is the best cornerback in the draft. Unfortunately, due to off-field issues, he will be dropped. Marcus Peters from Washington. They play in the NFC North where every single team slings the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
And if you can't try to hold the opposing offense's passing offense, you're lost. So that's why I have them taking is Marcus Peters.
I can see that. If Marcus Peters drops there, I can see that.
Remember, they got Nada, so defensive tackle may slip down their need list. Moving on, 24, the Arizona Cardinals. I made this pick solely based on where this kid went to school. For whatever reason, the Cardinals love LSU cornerbacks. I'm staying there. I know he just had surgeries. I'm going cornerback Jalen Collins, 6'1", with speed and agility. He could cover the opposing team's number one, and now you're going to have almost an all LSU backfield with Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu there.
Listen,
so I love that pick there.
You know what? When you need defense, in my mind, you go to Alabama, you go to LSU. Two defensive colleges that just produce good pros.
Yeah, they're always good.
Jalen Collins, listen, I think he's great. I think he's 2 or 3 best cornerback in the draft. I did just read he just had foot surgery. Minor foot surgery, so he should be ready for rookie minicamp. But I have him addressing the offensive line.
Go ahead.
Because Carson Palmer is another one who just got mauled last year. They need offensive line help. I have him taking T.J. Clemmings from Pittsburgh.
Good pick. Good pick. Moving on, number 25, the Carolina Panthers. Matty, who do you have them here with?
Another offensive line. I do think they could throw a wide receiver in here. But I think offensive line is more valuable to them. Mm-hmm. And I have them taking Eric Flowers from Miami.
I have the exact same pick.
So we're great.
Yeah, naturally.
Okay.
We don't even need to get on that because
let's not even get into it.
But they did just sign Michael Orr.
No,
which is awful.
But Michael Orr is
he's a Band-Aid at best.
You know, the blind side is tanking in box offices.
He's just awful. 26, Baltimore Ravens. I had them addressing the defensive tackle with the loss of Haloti Ngata, even though they have Timmy Jernigan from Florida State. I'm going to give them his old running mate, Eddie Goldman. Florida State defensive tackle. Yeah. Just to pair those two up to free up C.J. Mosley in the middle and T-Sizzle on the outside. That's what we call him in the hood. T-Sizzle. So that's my pick, Eddie Goldman. Kid's a monster. I love him.
Okay. I have him addressing the opposite side of the ball.
Right.
We've been going back and forth here. We started off 17 through 20.
Now we're all off.
Now we're like
now this is MG in the bod.
This is MG in the bod.
We are
complete
How
messes.
you doing?
We're just complete messes.
But you people love it.
I have him taking wide receiver from we'll call it Oklahoma, but he really doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't reside there. I think Dorial Green Beckham, who is a red flag issue, but I think Harbaugh can. I think he's kind of like Belichick in my mind. He takes these red flags and he kind of calms them down and gets them to be good pros. I think he's a project, Dorial Green Beckham, but I think his pure raw talent cannot be overlooked. And I think they addressed the wide receiver issue there, and they signed and they draft Dorial Green Beckham.
Fair enough. 27, the boys from Dallas. Who do you have them here, Matty?
All right, my first and only running back. I only have one running back. I had two in 1.0. I only have one in 2.0. Todd Gurley from Georgia. Okay. I think Melvin Gordon falls out of the first round, and I think Todd Gurley is slowly becoming the best running back in this draft. I understand he had the whole surgery, the whole injury issues. I get it. I think Dallas is in dire need to replace the loss of DeMarco Murray. And they have to reinvigorate that fan base at the running back position. And I think Todd Gurley will actually fit pretty well in that offense.
I think that's an awful pick.
Okay, cool.
All right, a lot of reasons why. I don't value the running back in the first round for a team who has an offensive line like they do. I think that it's too much of a risk with his knees to take in the first round. If you want to trade back into the early part of 2, no problem. But you got guys like Amir Abdullah, Duke Johnson, T.J. Yeldon. And
you would take Duke Johnson over Todd Gurley.
No.
I love Duke Johnson.
Me too. Value-based is what I'm talking about. Is the value there in the first round for any running back this year?
A healthy Todd Gurley. If Todd Gurley didn't go down last year, Todd Gurley, where is he? Where does he go in this year's draft? He's a top 15 pick.
But he didn't. He got hurt, so you have to play the cards as they lie.
And he's going to fall 27.
I still think you cannot risk a first round. Okay. Matt, but behind that offensive line, they're already talking about Randall.
You could put
the number one guy.
Anybody behind that.
So why waste a pick when your defense needs so much help?
Because Todd Gurley is a long-term solution.
Long-term solution.
Long-term solution.
The other guys in this draft are.
You draft Todd
Gurley. Abdullah isn't.
You draft Todd Gurley, and you have Joseph Randall start and play, and then you slowly work Todd Gurley in.
Amir Abdullah, T.J. Yeldon. There's so many other running backs in this draft.
Who do you got them taking?
I have them taking the side of the ball that they should take. Defenses, they can't stop anybody. Hybrid player, outside linebacker Shaq Thompson from Washington. Line him up anywhere you want. The kid will succeed. In fact, he could be a running back too.
He actually probably could be.
So you solve all of your needs with that one pick. Moving on, 28, the Denver Broncos. They just lost Terrence Knighton, which is not a big loss, but you still need guys in the front line to free up your middle linebackers to make plays. I have them taking Jordan Phillips. He's really only a 2-down defensive tackle from the University of Oklahoma, but when he's on, he is a mammoth of a man who can penetrate the offensive line and get to the quarterback. So I have him taking Jordan Phillips from Oklahoma.
Okay, well I have the other side of the ball again. And I have him taking. Let's make something straight here. The Denver Broncos have holes at the offensive line.
Okay.
I believe they don't. It's not atrocious, but they have holes at the offensive line, and I think they're going to take Cameron Irving from Florida State, and I think he's the perfect player to take because they could fill him anywhere. I think he's a hybrid player. I think he could play at multiple positions. He could play guard. He could play tackle. He might even play center, Joe.
No, well, he was an All-American at center.
There you go.
The first 5 games of this year as a Florida State left tackle, He played well. Then they moved to center, and they become a top 5 rushing team in the country because this kid was making all the right calls on the offensive line. IQ was off the charts. I think that's a very good pick there. Very good pick.
29, Indianapolis Colts.
Who do you have here?
You just had this guy going. I have him taking Shaq Thompson.
Okay.
I think Indy desperately needs to address the defensive side of the ball. Shaq Thompson from Washington.
I think that they are going to have to keep on protecting Andrew Luck. I think they're going to keep one of his classmates. I think they're going to go Andrew Pete here. They could line him up on the same side as Anthony Costanzo or on the opposite side. This kid, if you're going to listen, Andrew Luck is
the best.
He's awesome. Second best. He's the second best. Let's not jump to conclusions.
I love Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he is. Aaron Rodgers is the best. We all know that. But Andrew Luck is.
Call me Aaron.
What are you going to give Andrew Luck in a contract? $130 million?
Me personally, I don't have any money, Joe.
Okay. You got to protect him.
I'm going to sign him for 5 years for $15
and a skirt steak.
And a skirt. I'll cook it. I'm a mean on the barbecue, Andrew.
Yeah, you don't get this physique by not cooking. Andrew Pete, you got to protect Andrew Luck. That pick was easy for me because it's value based.
I do see them. In all jokes aside, I do see them if they don't take a defensive linebacker because they do have holes at linebacker. I think they need offensive line help also. So I don't disagree with you completely.
All right, that's cool. Number 30, Green Bay Packers. What do you got here?
The Green Bay Packers, Joe. I have them. This is another team I think that needs to address the linebacker position.
Yeah.
And if Shaq Thompson somehow falls here, I think that he is an option.
Absolutely.
I have him taking Benardrick McKinney from Mississippi State. I think he can slide into the middle. I think he can play middle linebacker. You don't need to use Clay Matthews anymore at middle. Although he did an admirable job there, he's just an outside linebacker. He's not a middle linebacker.
I think you're right about that. The versatility helps, but I had them taking also a middle linebacker, Denzel Perryman from Miami. He's a 3-down guy who can cover sideline to sideline, and that's what the Packers need. They need a thumper in the middle. I mean, he doesn't project as a large individual. You know, Bernard McKinney's 6'4", 6'5". Denzel Perryman just reaches 6 foot.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that because the kid is a pure tackler.
I like Perryman.
Plus, he can stay on the field for all 3 downs,
I
which
like
is huge in my
Perryman
book.
a lot, Joe.
So that's why I'm taking Denzel Perryman, middle linebacker from Miami. Moving on, 31, Seattle Seahawks.
The should-be Super Bowl champions.
Right. Who do you have him here taking?
I have him addressing the wide receiver position.
Okay.
Because somehow this team just keeps winning with nobody at the wide receiver position, and I don't get it. But I have him taking Rashad Perryman.
Okay.
From UCF.
Yes. He's a late bloomer here.
He is a late bloomer. I think he's worked his way after the combine. He's worked his way into the first round. He's teetering on the first round. You know, like I have him at 31 to the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. I think before the combine, I think he was a late second, maybe early third pick, mid to second. I think he might be a first-round pick here, Joe.
He could squeeze in there. His intangibles are off the chart. But again, that's what the combine does to a lot of players. And then they get to the NFL and they let you down.
That's very
But
true.
I understand that pick. My pick, I'm going to tell you right now, is awful. Reason being is that they acquired Jimmy Graham. At first, and I can't change it. I can't go back on this until my next mock draft comes out. I had them taking tight end Max Williams. Prior to the Jimmy Graham trade, they had nobody. That's why Matt gave them a wide receiver here. So I was giving them tight end Max Williams from Minnesota, but that will clearly be different in the next mock. And with the 32nd pick in the first round of the NFL draft.
You're up, man. Take us home.
The New England Patriots. I had them taking Cameron Irving here from Florida State. Can never have enough guys to protect Tom Brady. You mentioned earlier about his versatility. I'm good with that.
Cameron Irving to the New England Patriots?
Yes.
He's a Bill Belichick guy. I could see that, absolutely. If he falls that far. I have him taking a cornerback, which surprisingly, after recent events, they have none left. They have, Super Bowl hero Malcolm Butler is like their top cornerback.
He's the golden child there now.
It's unbelievable. Like the guy wins the Super Bowl and he's like, let's get rid of everybody and keep Malcolm Butler. Whatever. I have him taking Jalen Collins here from LSU. I think they need to address the cornerback position. I think Jalen Collins, I think he could step in and be the top cornerback on that team.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Why couldn't he? Why not?
Well,
because the transition from college to pro. I know it's difficult, but you can't tell me he doesn't have that type of potential.
No, I think he's the second, third best corner in the league.
Is he going to get beat in the first? Is he going to get beat in his first season in the NFL? Absolutely, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But the
It's a big
pros,
transition, Joe.
the pros outweigh the cons with this kid, so I definitely get that pick. That concludes our
We're done with
2.0
2.0?
mock draft night now. Yeah.
Can I rip this thing
I
up?
am so done with this. Thank
Okay.
God.
When's 3.0 coming out? Our next show?
Our next show, we're going to do
Which
1
is?
through 32. When is our next show,
April
actually?
13th.
April 13th, that's
April
right.
13th, we'll be back here with 3.0. We're going to bring you the whole 3.0.
Yeah, no gimmicks, no games. We're going to go right down this list.
32, we're going to
Hammer that bad boy
We're
out.
going to shoot right through it is what we're going to do.
You know, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And remember, as always, we definitely don't know everything.
However,
we definitely know more than you.
See you next time, folks.
Have a good one.